What up? What up? It is Alex, the fantasy football hustler, back at you. We got another running back start and sit episode. I'll mix in the tight ends because it's really quick for each matchup. You're going to see some stats pop up across the screen. Just remember, red means bad matchups, green means good matchup. Hit subscribe and let's get into this first matchup. We got the Thursday night matchup between the Browns and the Steelers. Steelers are the 3.5 point favorite. The over under is 36.5. I would not expect a lot coming out of this game at all. The better team to scheme your RB against amongst the two is going to be the Steelers, but I really don't want to start Nick Chubb. This week with 6 teams on bye, though, you might be forced to. So you got to do what you got to do. I'm going to lean on sitting him if you can. He's been very blah. That's the best way that I can put it. Very blah, no catches, and that's what sucks. If they actually threw him the ball, he would have way more value, but they refuse to throw him the ball. I don't understand. And for the tight end, I really don't want to start Njoku. I'm just nervous about it because the Steelers have given up no points to the tight ends over the last 2 weeks since they came back from bye. Now for the Steelers, RBs, Najee, even in a bad matchup, I feel like you almost have to start him just for the volume. With 6 teams on by, I feel like you have to start him. If you play in a more shallow league and you don't have to, perfect, put him on the bench. There's going to be a lot of people who are wondering, do they have to play Warren in the flex? I feel like I would be okay putting him in the flex. You still want to start him as an RB, but you know what I mean by flex player. You're starting your flex guys as starting RBs or starting wide receivers because it's Thursday. Then you just move someone to the flex. It just gives you more depth. That's the whole point behind that. But the matchup is bad. Cleveland's 7th against the run. So I'm playing Najee, but I'm only playing Warren if I'm really desperate and I'm kind of screwed with buys and injuries. All right, on to the Sunday games. The first one we got on the slate here is the Texans taking on the Titans. It's going to be a really tough AFC South match. Texans an 8.5 point favorite. The over under is 41.5. I think we can expect a lot of nothing going down in this game. Titans are 13th against the run. They could be first or second against the run and we wouldn't care. We're still starting Sergio Mix-a-Lot, so let's get him in there. For the Texans tight end, we're not starting Schultz. And then over to the Titans. Pollard going up against the Texans, who are giving up the 5th least points to running backs. I don't want to start him, but I understand if you have no other options and you have to, but I'm going to lean on not starting him if you are able to. Same thing with Spears. You must be very, very desperate. And we're definitely not starting any tight ends over there either. We got another divisional matchup over here between the Bears and the Vikings. This is a 39.5 over under. This is going to be a really ugly game as well. Minnesota is the 3.5 point favorite. Surprise, surprise. Minnesota's given up the 2nd least points to running backs right now. So it's really not a good matchup for Swift or Roschon Johnson. So the only way I'm starting them is if I am very desperate and there is like nobody else, but I'm leaning on sitting them on the bench almost no matter what. If you have questions with those guys in the mix, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer, but I'm sure I will be saying the other guys, whoever you're picking. On the other side of things, Bears are giving up the 20th points to running backs. EPA, very nice as well. It's a smash matchup for these guys. So I'm going to lean on starting Aaron Jones, especially with all the guys on bye. Yeah, Aaron Jones is a must start this week. And I'm even going to put Cam Akers in that flex role this week as well. With as many players as we have out on bye, this is one of the better matchups. And the quick tight end shout out from this game, I do not want to start Cole Kmet, but I would lean on starting Oliver and Hawkins. Just depends on your options. I obviously like Hawkinson more, but with the amount of players that we got out, I think that you can get Oliver in the mix as well. Next up, we got the Commandos going up against the Cowboys. Let's see if the Commandos can catch the Cowboys with their pants down. Hey, yo, Washington, a 10.5 point favorite. The Cowboys are being disrespected again. 45 over under in this game. Finally, we get something that's like a little north of 41. That's some ugly games so far over under wise. I think this one is going to hit the over, even though we got one bad team here. Cowboys 30th against the run. Smash matchup for B-Rob the Mob and for Austin Eckler. So let's fire up B-Rob the Mob. Yeah. Now for the Cowboys. We're starting Rico Dowdle, but man, I kind of don't want to. But with the amount of bye weeks that we got, I'm going to. Washington, 18th against the run right now. Their EPA is even higher than that, so that means they're giving up more points than expected. So yeah, let's rock Rico, but we're definitely not playing anybody else over there. And both these teams are positive matchups for the tight ends, so I will start Zach Ertz, and I will start Ferguson or Schoonmaker, whoever is the person who's starting over there this week. And that's all I got to say about that. Next game on the docket, another barn burner. The Patriots going out to Miami to take on the Dolphins. The Dolphins, a 7-point favorite. 46 over under. I'll take the under on that. But these teams have kind of been slacking a little bit on defense. That's why they have one of the higher over-unders on the week. This week, there's a lot of bad matchups. For the RBs, though, we got two positive matchups here. A-Chain going up against the Patriots. Patriots are 19th against the run right now. Plus matchup for sure. And then look at the ETA for both teams, positive matchup. So I'm going to start A-Chain. Mostert might even be a flex-worthy guy this week, depending on how bad you are hurting for a flex. And then for the Patriots, we got to play Stevenson. Dolphins have just been a smash matchup for most teams out there. We got to do it, and let's hope that he gets the volume like we need him to get. And the tight ends, it's a smash matchup for both guys here, so I will deploy Jonnu, and I will deploy Hunter Henry as well. Next game on the slate, we got the Panthers taking on the Chiefs. The Chiefs are an 11-point favorite. Surprise, surprise. Look at the over-under, though, 42.5. They're expecting the Panthers to score nothing in this game. The Chiefs are first against the running backs. So Chuba, you do what you got to do, but I'm saying leave him on the bench. Look at what James Cook did last week. If you take away the 2 touchdowns, it was like nothing. The 2 touchdowns really saved his day. I don't think we can compare the Panthers offense to the Bills offense. I don't know how often Chuba is going to be in that position to score. So I'm leaning on sitting Chuba. It's also looking like Brooks is going to be coming back. I would sit him down as well. We want to see how they're using him. It'd be awesome if they threw him a bunch of passes. That's not really in the Panthers' MO. And then for the Chiefs, literally the exact opposite. Panthers are 32nd against the run. Pacheco's supposed to be coming back. If he does, we're firing him up.
All right, fire him up!
And I think Hunt is still flex worthy because the matchup is still so juicy for these guys. And who knows, are they going to give Pacheco 100% of the workload right away? I don't know. They could, but so many players are out that you might have to play Hunt. And I say because of the matchup, I think it's worth a risk. For the tight ends, of course, you're starting Travis Kelce. You might even want to start Noah Gray if you are really desperate for a flex or just for a tight end in general. Flip side of things, Chiefs used to be one of the best matchups. But if we are just judging them after their bye week, which that's still a bunch of games now, at that point, they're actually not that good of a matchup now compared to the first 5 weeks of the season. So I'm going to say sit Sanders. Next game to talk about, we got the Giants taking on the Bucs. The Bucs are a 5.5-point favorite. 41.5 over under. Another ugly game, but it is going to be very good for the running backs. The one thing you want to look at if you've been paying attention to these numbers over here, notice how the EPA for the Bucs is, but their points per game is 28th. That just means their defense has been giving up way less points than expected recently versus the entire season. So Tracy, we're starting, but be weary. Don't expect him to have a huge game because they're 28th against the run and giving up points, because they've been giving up way less points than expected recently. Now, on the flip side of things, for the Bucs going up against the Giants, Giants are 20th against the run. Their EPA is higher than that. They are 23rd. And I want to start Bucky and I want to start Rachaad White in this game, both in a smash matchup here. Lock and load. For the tight ends, the Giants, they're like one of the worst matchups that you could go against. Cade Otton, still going to start him though because of the volume. But it's a horrible matchup, though. So if you have a better option, deploy them. Bucs, the exact opposite. They're like 30th against the tight end, at least over the last 5 weeks. That's what I'm looking at when it comes to the tight end numbers. I'm looking at the more recent trends versus the entire season. And Theo Huxtable Johnson, if you dare, you got to be a little bit desperate, but the matchup is a smash matchup. And Tommy Danny DeVito, he probably will have to check it down a lot to the tight end. Finally, we make it to a game that has a decent over-under. We got the Colts taking on the Lions. Lions are a 7.5-point favorite. Feel like that's low. Feel like that's a smash right there. The over-under is 50.5. Definitely going over because the Lions have pretty much done that themselves. Why would we not be on that train? So I'm taking the Lions and the over in this one. Bookie. Lions are a really horrible matchup for the running backs. I'm sure you're going to start JT. He's must start TV. There's no denying that. So it's a horrible matchup, but we're still going to start him. On the flip side of things, the Colts, 23rd against the run. Their EPA is a little bit lower, but it's still a positive matchup for Gibbs and Monty. So I am deploying them both. For the tight ends, Detroit has been a really, really bad matchup. We're not starting Mo Alley Small, and the Colts, they've been a great matchup for the tight end. So assuming Sam Laporta plays, we're starting Sam Laporta. All right. Had to change my gear for the afternoon games here. What do you guys think of the shirt? 420crewmerch.com. Go pick one up. We got the Raiders taking on the Broncos. Broncos, a 5.5 point favorite, 41 over under. Man, we have had so many ugly games this week. Expect it to be a down week for fantasy. We have 6 teams on bye, and then we have so many bad matchups. You guys have been paying attention to these over-unders. There's been a lot of matchups that have been red. And if you're paying attention, that means not good. But now for the RB matchups. Abdullah and Madison taking on the Denver Broncos, who are 15th against the run right now, but look at the EPA, even lower. So that means they've been doing better more recently than they have for the season. I'm going to sit both of them. I will start Abdullah if I'm extremely desperate, but Madison, kick that dude to the curb. It's the exact opposite for Javonte and Estime going up against the Raiders, who are giving up the 25th points to running backs, and their EPA is even higher than that. I will start Javonte. I'm not starting Estime, but I know if you're desperate, you might be thinking about it. Just like I told you last week when I said he's Fugazi, I'm still saying he's Fugazi. Don't start him. And for the tight ends, Denver, horrible matchup. Still starting Bowers. Raiders, great matchup for the tight ends. But I don't know if you got the stones to start Adam Troutman. I'm still going to lean on not starting him. Oh boy, we got a couple afternoon games that might save the week. Got the Seahawks taking on the Cardinals. Seahawks are a -1 at home. Straight up pick them. 47.5 over under. Let's hope it hits the over. The running back matchups are a smash. You'll notice the EPAs are a tiny bit lower for both teams. Look at Arizona, 25th for the season in points, but 19th EPA. So that means they've been doing better at defending the running backs over the last couple weeks. That being said, I'm still throwing out Ken Walker, and I'm even throwing Charbonnet in a flex role this week because of how many guys are on bye. And then the flip side for Arizona, Connor, let's go to the moon. Benson, let's get him in there in a flex role. We're starting all the running backs who are relevant in this game. And for the tight ends, both teams are bad matchups for the tight ends. I'm going to start McBride just because I feel like we have to. I'm going to sit Noah Fant. Because of the bad matchup. Here we go. Another game that we hope yield some high points. We got the Packers taking on the 49ers in Green Bay. Packers are a 2.5 point favorite, so a straight up pick 'em. 47.5 is the over under. Let's hope that they go over on that. San Fran has been a pretty good matchup for the running backs going against them, so I'm going to say start Josh Jacobs. Let's go. Green Bay, they're 16th for the season against the running backs, but their EPA a little bit higher. Not that that matters because we're starting Christian McCaffrey anyways. I just like giving the stats. And then for the tight ends, 49ers over the last 5 weeks, they've been the 49ers that we've known forever that have been shutting down the tight end. So I don't want to start Kraft. Kittle plays, we're playing him. Oh yeah, let's go. We've been waiting all day for Sunday night. Got the Rams taking on the Eagles. Eagles are a 3-point favorite on the road. 48.5 over under. Let's go. Another good over under after a lot of bad ones in the Sunday early games. Eagles have been amazing against the run. 6th in points given up and 5th in EPA. Both ugly. Probably still starting Kyren without thinking about it, unless you're in a super shallow league. So either way, we're deploying Kyren. Rams have been pretty tough against the running backs also. 11th in points, 9th in EPA. We're still starting Barkley. Let's get it. Both teams have been very middle of the road against defending the tight end. Rams a little bit better than the Eagles. Not starting any tight ends from the Rams. I will start Goddard if you have one of your tight ends on bye this week, though. Yes, we have made it to everybody's favorite game of the week. It is Monday Night Football. And what a treat that we get one of the higher over-unders on Monday Night Football between the Chargers and the Ravens. Ravens are a 3-point favorite, 50.5 over-under. Let's hope we get the over. Both defenses have been pretty solid against the running backs. Chargers have been better than the Ravens. I don't think it matters how good or bad the Ravens are doing. We're starting J.K. Dobbins. He has been on fire. I'm going to sit Gus Edwards either way. If you want to feel even better about your J.K. Dobbins matchup, Ravens are 9th against the running backs for the season, but their EPA is 12th. So over the last couple weeks, they've been giving up more points than expected. Chargers in the same boat where they're 4th in points against the running backs for the season, but they're 6th in EPA. So giving up a little bit more over the last couple weeks than normal. We're starting Derrick Henry. And every time that it's a bad running back matchup for the Ravens, like this would be, I say start Justice Hill as well in a flex role if you are a little bit desperate, especially with this being on Monday night. I know I'd be a little bit nervous about it if I had to do it, but you always feel good about rolling guys out there in Monday Night Football. Chargers, since their bye week, they're giving up like no points to the tight end. So I'm leaning on sitting Andrews and I'm leaning on sitting Likely in this matchup specifically. And on the flip side of things, the Ravens have actually been a positive matchup for the tight ends. So I would say start Will Disley to see if we can keep this train moving. We have made it all the way through these games. Get prepared for an ugly week with all the teams that we got on bye and all these bad matchups. Make your moves. Might be the trade deadline this week for you or next week. Make those moves. Don't make bullshit trades, but make good trades. If you need help on making trades, or if you just want to be a better trade negotiator in general, go join the crew at 420crew.com. Get on the superstar tier or higher. If you like the shirt, check it out. 420crewmerch.com. Go to fantasyfootballhustler.com and go follow me everywhere on all social media. Go check out the waiver wire videos. They're going to be popping up here in a second. And then check out the wide receiver start and sit video. Should be popping up here shortly as well. We'll see you on the next live stream.